Joining me today is first-time author who I'm sure you recognize from his 7 seasons on Southern Charm. And in addition to being a reality TV star, he is a world traveler, an avid reader himself, a dog dad, an overall life enthusiast, and the self-proclaimed human personification of Calvin and Hobbes. The Emperor of Shepland himself, Shep Rose, welcome to the middle.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you. I do love Calvin and Hobbes. I've read every single comic strip, and I think my mom helped cultivate that love for me. And by the way, I mean, the writing in Calvin and Hobbes is brilliant. I mean, and I probably, you can gain a lot of vocab. Maybe that's a lot of my vocab came from Calvin and Hobbes.
Well, it's funny you mentioned vocab because I talked to Cameron last week, your friend and previous co-star, and she said something that people would be surprised about is your vocabulary because you are such a reader yourself. So I want to ask, I want to do a summary of the book, but first tell me, what are some other misconceptions that people may have before reading this book about you or about your writing in general?
Well, yeah, no, and that's a good question. I try to clarify a lot of things, and mostly things from the haters or whatever on Twitter, who are like, get a job. You never had a job. You never done. I'm like, actually, I've had a lot of jobs. You know what I mean? And then I kind of give my family's background and history. And I think, the book is a chance for me to lay it all out there and in my own words. And so I'm proud of it. And I hope that some questions will be answered and things clarified. But I hope people laugh.
Well, I laughed. And first of all, congratulations, because it really is so well done. It's called Average Expectations, Lessons in Lowering the Bar. So give me a little summary of the book without giving too much away.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got all these, the first reason I wanted to write was when I was traveling. So I've lived in Buenos Aires and Dubai and Hong Kong and Southeast Asia. And every time I go to these places, the craziest things happen to me. And maybe that's because I end up, at the local pub or what have you, taking shots and then back at some weird house party with some people. And I'm just like, okay, these stories need to be told. So I started writing long emails when I was in these different places to friends and family. And I was like, okay, one day I got to put these all together because it's just too good not to, or too funny. And so that was the conceit of it. It was like, I think the conceit of it originally was, I come from some fairly traditional family and I'm anything but, and I've decided to, or I have up until now decided to sort of do things my way and unconventionally, but a lot of fun. That's the goal in life, is to keep a smile on your face. I honestly believe that, and I do my best to make sure that's true.
I love it. There's so many quotes in there that I was like, oh my God, like this is such good philosophy on life. And I'll read one later, but you talk about in the book that you've wanted to write for a long time. So now that you've done it and you have this physical book in your hands, what is that feeling like?
It's pride. I know pride is a sin, everybody. I apologize. I'm a sinner too. I'll go ahead and reveal that before you read it too. I mean, it's just so nice to have it and to touch it and to have it on your coffee table. And and then it's there forever too. That's the nice, I mean, maybe when my nieces and nephew are a little older, they can read it and learn a little bit about me. And then I'm sure I'm going to get not backlash, but grief from family members when they read it. My mom and dad loved it though, so that's good. I've given it to a handful of people and everybody's been really, hopefully they're not just being nice, but they've been really enthusiastic and given me some nice praise. And of course that feels good. And it is an accomplishment and I'm very proud of it.
You should be. And the way you write about your relationship with your mom, just the way you talk about her is so sweet. And I'm someone who always just pictured my future children as girls, but reading the way you wrote about your mom, I'm like, oh, it'd be cute to have a boy. But then I got to all of the chapters about you, like, and your injuries and like wrestling trash cans. And now I I don't know what I want.
No, I think, if I had children, I would, all the guys, most guys like, I want a son, and I think there's something really, really beautiful about daughters, and that connection between a daughter and a dad. And so I think it's good to have, you should want to have both. I think that would be ideal.
I agree. So speaking long-term, you talk about your girlfriend Taylor a little bit in the book. Has your stance on monogamy or marriage changed, or do you still see it as you said, a disturbance to the force?
She's right there.
Hi, Taylor.
She has the week off, so we're hanging at the house and walking little Craig on the beach. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's been really nice, and it's been, for 40 years, I kind of did things my way and ran around like a chicken with his head cut off. And it's nice to have a semblance of normalcy, and Taylor brings that, and a calmness. I mean, we still have a lot of fun. I mean, we go out and get dinner and hoot and holler with our friends, but there's I don't know, it's a nice change, and I'm really enjoying it, and we'll see.
And since she's right there, you can't lie. Was she disturbed by anything in the book?
Oh yeah, she was mad, and she picked up the book and flipped to a part where I talk about my tryst with Catherine from the show, and she did not like it. But so I don't think she wants to read it until, I don't know when she's going to read it.
Well, she hasn't read the whole thing yet.
No, she hasn't, but she promises that she will. And there's a lot in the book. I think you would agree. I don't get salacious. I don't like. It's not. I mean, yeah, I tell my story, but I'm not trying to give details on this and that. So I was very careful to do that, because there are some. I mean, all my grandparents are deceased, unfortunately, but a lot of people out there maybe have a little bit more conservative ways of expressing themselves. And so I do my best in the book, but
no, I agree. I think you really do. I think you are a gentleman at the end of the day, and you are respectful in the way. I mean, there's funny stories in there, and some of the ways that you describe some of the girls of your past, I'm like, oh my gosh, if that were me, I'd be like writing him an email, but not in like any extreme. So it's totally.
Yes. So, Taylor was like, how would you like it if I wrote a book and talked about my exes and stuff? I was like, I would be okay with it. I would love to read it, honestly. Yeah. So I want her to write one now.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's nice to have to just like get it all out there, because I remember I'm married. The first 2 years of my relationship with my husband, there was always these stories coming up, and you learn things that it's like, what, huh? But all good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know everyone has a past, and, right. and by the way, all that past has led you to right now. You know what I mean? So,
and you wouldn't be who you are.
No, I wouldn't be who I was, and I've probably been a dick before, or maybe not 100% a gentleman, but I say in the book, and I stand by it, I don't have one single ex or whatever that considers me an enemy or anything like that. So I take pride in that. Every relationship I've had, however short, I've tried my best, and I think I've achieved being somewhat of a gentleman about it.
Okay, so originally I was going to ask you for book recommendations, since you are such a reader, but you give an entire list of recs at the end of your book. So instead, I want to know which of your favorite books you would like to see adapted to the screen that has not been already.
Mine.
And would you play yourself, or would you have someone else?
I wouldn't. I don't think I would.
So who would be you?
I don't know. We'll have to think on that. I don't really know who the young actors are, because I'd have to be in my 20s. Most of the book takes place around then. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I would be. Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
It would actually be really funny. You could do like a whole a limited series.
Yeah. Let me see. What book would I like to be adapted to the screen? I mean, almost all of them. Anyone's that's worth a damn already has. I mean, screenwriters have a hell of a hard time coming up with their own stuff, and I empathize. So I nothing comes off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm picturing your show still, and I think that would be great.
Okay.
And then I know you are not a big fan of fiction, but could you ever see yourself writing a fiction novel using all of your experiences as research?
Yeah, and I just got done with an interview with my friend Kate Casey, and she thinks that I should delve into fiction. So
I agree.
I would I could tackle that. I mean, it'd be a new experience. I'd need a really, really hands-on editor telling me I'm an idiot or whatever. And I had that this time. And Dina Gatchman is this amazing collaborator, and she's helped Stassi write books and stuff like that. But she, with me, I was like, look, you're not going to have to do really any writing at all. But I really need structure and patience and sort of a big picture organizational thing. And she was perfect. So if I write again, I'm going to give her a call.
It takes a village, I'm sure.
I want to write again. I want to continue writing. So yes, thank you for the encouragement.
Yes, of course. I really do admire your passion for everything that you do. And it's so clear in the book. So what's next for you? And are you going to be on Bravo's Winter House?
I am not on Bravo's Winter House. They're there right now.
So, oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah. I was not asked, but that's okay. I don't know. And what my future as far as with Bravo is concerned.
Just anything. What's next? What's your next big bucket list to do thing?
I'm working on a pilot for a TV show that I created with some writers, and I actually have a call later today. So we created this world, and so that is fiction, I guess. And so I'm working on this TV show, and I know talk is so cheap in this business, and especially in that world. And so I'm trying to temper my expectations, average expectations, and figure out if we can get this done. It'd be amazing, and what fun it would be. And then I could write fiction later on. But I am writing fiction, I guess. That's a good point.
So when would you're writing in the writing stages right now? So then how long?
Then you'd pitch it. We'd put together a pitch,
okay.
And you pitch it to different networks and production companies, and they say, okay, we like it, go write a whole season, and so that would be amazing.
Fingers crossed. That's exciting.
Crossed.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your Instagram for people who don't follow you? Because I'll put it up on the screen, and then I'm going to read this quote that I love.
Okay, Instagram is relationship instead of ship,
which everybody is probably already following you, but whatever, we'll still put it up. Okay, and then I love this. So this is on page 112. You said, and wait, what is this part? Your guide to dating 101. But you said, if you make it so that your happiness is tied to the presence of another person, or you make your life about another person, you're doing life wrong. Being an independent person is the most attractive and important thing you can be. And I think that, even like I said, as a married person, I think that's something that everyone needs to remember, because whether it's you're trying to attract another partner or just whatever, that is you are the person you come into this world with and you leave with. So love yourself, basically.
Yes. And it's just so nice when, hey, I'm going to go I'm going to go, I don't know, on a mountain biking expedition. Not that I've never heard a girl say that, but if she did, I would be like, oh my God, good for you. That's amazing. Go have a crazy fun experience, a different experience, and come back and we'll laugh about it, or you know what I mean? So yeah, if you're attached at the hip, then you have no, all you have is shared experiences. And I don't think that's all. I mean, that can be wonderful, don't get me wrong, but yeah, go do some stuff independently. That's cool.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Can't wait to see what comes next for you, and everybody needs to read the book.
Thanks so much.